3 years ago, I was standing in my 600 square foot apartment staring at an $800 table saw I had absolutely nowhere to put. My neighbors were already complaining about the noise from my first attempt at using a power drill. My landlord had just sent me a warning about sawdust in the hallway, and I had this sinking feeling that I'd just made a huge, expensive mistake. See, I'd always dreamed of creating beautiful wooden furniture. The kind of pieces you see in artisan shops that cost thousands of dollars. The kind of heirloom furniture that gets passed down through generations. But everyone told me the same thing. You need a workshop. You need expensive power tools. You need years of experience. You need space. And I had none of those things. My name is Marcus Thompson, and I'm about to share with you a discovery that changed everything I thought I knew about woodworking. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever walked past a beautiful piece of handcrafted furniture and thought, I wish I could make something like that? Have you ever felt that pull, that desire to create something with your own hands, something real and lasting and beautiful? Maybe you've even tried. Maybe you bought some tools, watched some YouTube videos, got overwhelmed, and gave up. Or maybe you never even started because you live in an apartment, or you don't have thousands of dollars for equipment, or you're intimidated by power tools, or you just don't have 40 hours a week to dedicate to a new hobby. If any of this sounds familiar, I need you to keep watching, because what I'm about to show you proves that everything you've been told about woodworking is wrong. Let me take you back to that moment in my apartment, standing next to that table saw I couldn't use. I was frustrated. I was embarrassed. I'd spent money I didn't really have on equipment that was completely useless to me. And that's when I stumbled across something that changed everything. I was scrolling through videos late one night, feeling defeated, when I found a video of a Japanese craftsman. He was in a space smaller than my kitchen, using nothing but hand tools, creating the most intricate jewelry box I'd ever seen. No power tools, no machinery, no noise, just him, some wood, and a handful of simple hand tools. And I thought, wait, that's impossible. Everyone says you need power tools to do real woodworking. But I couldn't stop watching the precision, the quiet, the meditative quality of the work. It was mesmerizing. So I started digging deeper, and what I discovered absolutely shocked me. For thousands of years, master craftsmen created furniture that still exists today. Furniture that's more beautiful and better built than anything you can buy at a store, using only hand tools. The furniture in museums, hand tools. The antiques worth millions, hand tools. The pieces that have survived for centuries, all hand tools. Somehow we'd been convinced that we needed expensive, dangerous, loud machinery to do what humans had been doing quietly and safely for millennia. I realized I'd been approaching this completely backwards. So I made a decision. I returned that table saw, and I spent the next 2 years learning everything I could about hand tool woodworking. I studied traditional Japanese techniques. I learned from Amish furniture makers. I practiced in my tiny apartment, on my kitchen table, on my balcony. And I discovered something revolutionary. Hand tool woodworking isn't just possible in small spaces. It's actually better suited for them. You don't need a garage workshop. You don't need to worry about noise complaints. You don't need thousands of dollars in equipment. You don't need years of experience. You just need the right tools and the right techniques. Within 6 months, I had created 3 pieces of furniture I was genuinely proud of. A cutting board my friends asked me to make copies of. A jewelry box my girlfriend still uses every day. A plant stand that looks like it cost $200 at a boutique. Total material costs? Less than $50 for all 3 projects combined. Total tool investment under $150. Total space required? The corner of my apartment that used to just collect boxes. And here's the beautiful part. Each project took me just a weekend to complete. Now I know what you're thinking. Marcus, that's great for you, but I'm not skilled like that. I don't have experience. I've never even used a chisel before. Perfect. because I created this system specifically for people who have never touched a woodworking tool in their lives. See, after I figured this out for myself, I couldn't keep it to myself. I started teaching friends, then friends of friends. Then I started documenting everything, every technique, every shortcut, every mistake to avoid. And I developed what I now call the weekend hand tool method. It's a simple step-by-step system that takes complete beginners from never having built anything to completing beautiful furniture projects in just one weekend. No guessing, no confusion, no wasted money on tools you don't need. Just a clear path from I can't do this to I can't believe I made this. And I'm about to show you exactly how it works. But first, let me show you what's really holding people back from discovering this craft. I call it the power tool trap. Here's what happens. You decide you want to try woodworking. You do some research. Every single resource tells you the same thing. You need power tools. So you go to the store, the salesperson shows you saws, drills, sanders, routers. They tell you about safety equipment, dust collection systems, workbenches designed for power tools. Before you know it, you're looking at a $2,000 investment just to get started. And even if you can afford it, you realize you have nowhere to put it. You live in an apartment or a condo or a house with a small yard. You can't make noise after 8 p.m. You don't have a dedicated space. So either you never start at all, or you buy the equipment, use it once, and it sits in your closet gathering dust. The woodworking industry has convinced us that we can't build anything without their expensive products. But the master craftsmen who built the furniture in museums, they didn't have any of that stuff. They had skill, they had technique, they had hand tools that cost a fraction of what power tools cost. And you can have the same thing. Let me be clear about something. I'm not against power tools. If you have the space and budget for a full workshop, that's wonderful. But for the 78% of people who don't, for the apartment dwellers, the condo owners, the people with small homes and smaller budgets, the people who work full-time and have families, there's a better way. A quieter way, a simpler way, a way that actually connects you to the craft instead of just running machinery. And I want to show it to you. Think about this for a second. What if you could create beautiful wooden furniture without power tools? What if you could do it in a space as small as a kitchen table? What if you could complete your first project this weekend? Not months from now, but this actual weekend. What if the only thing standing between you and handcrafted furniture was knowing the right techniques? Because that's exactly what I discovered, and that's exactly what I'm offering you today. I've taken everything I learned over the past 3 years, all the techniques I studied from master craftsmen, all the trial and error, all the mistakes I made so you don't have to, and I've condensed it into a simple, beginner-friendly guide. It's called The Beginner's Guide to Woodworking with Hand Tools. And it's specifically designed for people who live in small spaces, have limited budgets, and have zero experience. Here's exactly what you're going to learn. First, you'll discover the 5 essential hand tools you actually need. Not 50 tools, not 20 tools, just 5. These are the tools that handle 90% of all woodworking tasks. I'll tell you exactly which ones to buy, where to buy them affordably, and how to use them safely and effectively. No confusion, no wasted money. Then you'll learn how to set up a functional workspace in any space. And I mean any space. I'll show you how to work on a kitchen table, how to create a balcony workshop, how to build in a basement or spare room. You'll get specific setups for different space constraints, storage solutions for small apartments, and techniques that work whether you have 100 square feet or just a corner of a room. Next, you'll complete your first 3 projects using my weekend method. Project 1 is a professional quality cutting board. This project teaches you fundamental techniques, measuring, cutting, sanding, finishing, and you'll complete it in just 2 to 4 hours. People will think you bought it at an artisan market. Project 2 is a beautiful jewelry box with a fitted lid. This builds on what you learned and introduces joinery techniques. Completion time, 6 to 8 hours over a weekend. This is the project that will make you realize you're actually a woodworker now. Project 3 is an elegant plant stand that looks like boutique furniture. This combines everything you've learned and gives you a piece you can proudly display in your home. Completion time, 8 to 10 hours over a weekend. Each project includes detailed step-by-step instructions with photos, cut lists with exact measurements, technique demonstrations for every step, and troubleshooting guides for common mistakes. But that's not even the best part, because I'm also including the knowledge that took me months to figure out. Wood selection secrets that save you money and improve your results, hand tool mastery techniques used by professional craftsmen, finishing methods that make your projects look professionally made, and time-saving shortcuts that cut your work time in half. You'll learn which woods are easiest to work with for beginners, which woods give you the most beautiful results for the cost, and where to buy lumber affordably without getting ripped off. You'll discover proper hand tool techniques that make the work easier and more enjoyable, how to keep your tools sharp so they work like they should, and why most people use hand tools wrong, and how to do it right. And you'll master finishing techniques that transform raw wood into stunning pieces, staining methods for even beautiful color, oil finishes versus polyurethane and when to use each, and how to fix common finishing mistakes before they ruin your project. Now let me share some stories from people who've been exactly where you are right now. Sarah from New York City lives in a studio apartment. She thought woodworking was completely impossible for her. She went through the guide and sent me an email 3 weeks later. "Marcus, I just finished the cutting board and I actually cried. I made this in my tiny apartment with hand tools. Everyone who sees it asks where I bought it. When I tell them I made it, they don't believe me." Sarah has now completed all 3 projects and is working on custom pieces for friends in a studio apartment. Robert from Portland had tried woodworking before and failed miserably. He'd spent $500 on power tools, made a mess of his garage, nearly cut his finger off with a table saw, and gave up. He tried the hand tool method and everything changed. I can't believe how much calmer this is. No noise, no danger, no stress, just me and the wood. I actually look forward to my weekend projects now. My family loves the pieces I've made. This is what woodworking should be. Jennifer from Austin is a teacher who works 50 hours a week. She thought she didn't have time for woodworking. The weekend method is perfect for my schedule. I can complete a project in the time I used to spend scrolling through my phone. The jewelry box I made is better quality than anything I could buy for under $200. And I spent maybe $15 on materials. This is insane. These aren't special people with special skills. They're regular people who wanted to create something beautiful and didn't know where to start. Just like you. Now let's talk about what this is worth. If you took a woodworking class at a local community college, you'd pay $200 to $400 for a basic course that assumes you have access to a full workshop. If you hired a woodworking tutor for private lessons, you'd pay $50 to $100 per hour, and you'd need at least 10 hours to learn what's in this guide. That's $500 to $1,000. If you bought all the woodworking books I studied to create this system, you'd spend over $300, and most of them assume you have power tools and large spaces. Add up the money you'd waste buying the wrong tools, the wrong wood, making mistakes that ruin materials. Most beginners waste $200 to $400 before they figure out what actually works. If I wanted to, I could easily charge $200 for this guide, and it would still be a bargain. But here's the thing, I didn't create this to get rich. I created it because I was once exactly where you are. Frustrated, overwhelmed, convinced I couldn't do this. And I don't want anyone else to feel that way. So I'm not going to charge you $200. I'm not going to charge you $100. When you click the button below, you're going to get instant access to the beginner's guide to woodworking with hand tools for just $17. $17. That's less than what most people spend on lunch for two. That's less than a single drink at a nice restaurant. That's less than one cheap cutting board at a department store. For a complete system that could give you a lifelong skill and the ability to create beautiful furniture forever. But here's where this gets even better. Because I'm not just giving you the guide, I'm also including 4 bonus guides absolutely free. Bonus number 1, the Complete Tool Shopping Guide. This is your exact shopping list with specific brands, models, and where to find the best deals. You'll learn the difference between quality tools and cheap junk, budget alternatives that still deliver professional results, and use tool buying strategies that can save you 50% or more. This bonus alone is worth $29, but it's yours free. Bonus number 2, the Wood Species Selector. Stop guessing which wood to use. This guide shows you the best woods for beginners, cost comparisons so you get maximum value, workability ratings so you know what's easy to cut and shape, and where to buy lumber affordably in your area. This bonus is worth $19, but it's yours free. Bonus number 3, Professional Finishing Secrets. This is how you make your projects look like they came from an expensive boutique. You'll learn staining techniques for gorgeous, even color, natural oil finishes versus polyurethane, and when to use each, and how to troubleshoot and fix common finishing mistakes. This bonus is worth $15, but it's yours free. Bonus number 4, the Project Expansion Pack. After you complete the 3 main projects, you'll want to keep going. This gives you 5 additional beginner-friendly projects, including a smartphone dock, a small bookshelf, and a kitchen utensil holder. This bonus is worth $12, but it's yours free. Add it all up, the main guide plus all 4 bonuses. That's $92 worth of material. But you're not paying $92. You're not even paying half that. You're paying just $17 for everything. That's over 80% off. But I need to be honest with you. This price isn't permanent. You see that timer on your screen? When that hits 0, this flash sale ends. The price goes back to the regular $39, and the bonus guides disappear. I'm offering this special price right now because I want to get this system into as many hands as possible. I want to prove to people that woodworking isn't just for professionals or people with huge workshops. But I can't keep it at this price forever. My business partner is already telling me I'm crazy for offering this so cheap. After the timer runs out, the price goes up, and it might never come back down. So if you're on the fence, now's the time to act. Now, I know some of you are thinking this sounds great, but what if it doesn't work for me? What if I'm really not cut out for this? I understand. You've been disappointed before. You've tried things that didn't work. You're hesitant. So here's what I'm going to do. Get the Beginner's Guide to Woodworking today. Go through the entire system. Use the bonuses. Start your first project. Take a full 60 days, that's 2 whole months, to decide if this is for you. If you don't successfully complete at least one beautiful project that you're proud to display in your home, simply send me an email. Just say, Marcus, this wasn't for me. That's it. No forms, no explanations needed, no hoops to jump through. And I'll refund every single penny within 24 hours. You can even keep all the bonus guides as my thank you for giving it a try. I can offer this guarantee because I've seen this system work for over 3,200 people. Complete beginners, people who thought they had no skill, people living in tiny apartments. I know this works, but I also know that nothing works for everyone. And I'm not interested in keeping your money if you're not absolutely thrilled. The risk is entirely on me. You have nothing to lose. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. You have a choice to make right now. You can close this page and go back to what you were doing. You can tell yourself you'll think about it later, or maybe you'll try woodworking someday when you have more space or more time or more money. And 6 months from now, you'll still be dreaming about creating something beautiful. You'll still be buying furniture instead of making it. You'll still be wondering, what if? Or you can click the button below. You can invest $17, less than what you'll spend on fast food this week, in yourself and your potential. 3 weeks from now, you could be holding your first handcrafted cutting board. Something you made. Something beautiful. Something real. 2 months from now, you could have 3 completed projects in your home. Pieces that your friends admire. Pieces that you're genuinely proud of. 6 months from now, you could be creating custom furniture for yourself and the people you love. Saving money. Developing a skill that lasts a lifetime. Experiencing the deep satisfaction that comes from creating something with your hands. And you'll think to yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? Every single person who's written to me says the same thing. They almost didn't click the button. They almost talked themselves out of it. But something told them to take a chance, and they're so grateful they did. Don't let fear rob you of this skill. Don't let another year go by where you're just wishing instead of doing. Don't let space limitations or budget concerns stop you from discovering something you might absolutely love. You don't need a workshop. You don't need expensive tools. You don't need years of experience. You just need to take the first step. Click the button below, enter your information, and in less than 2 minutes, you'll have instant access to everything. No shipping, no waiting. You can literally start today, right now, and by this time next month, you could be holding something beautiful that you created. The timer is counting down. The bonuses are going away. The price is going up. But more importantly, your woodworking journey is waiting. You don't have to stay on the sidelines wondering if you could do this. You can find out this weekend. This is your moment. Click the button. Say yes to creating something beautiful. I'll see you on the other side. Before you go, let me answer the questions I know you're asking yourself right now. I've never used woodworking tools before. Will this really work for someone with zero experience? Yes, the guide assumes you've never touched a chisel or handsaw. Every single technique is explained step by step with photos. I show you exactly how to hold the tools, how to make each cut, how to avoid common mistakes. Over 3,200 complete beginners have successfully completed these projects. I live in a really small space, like really small. Can this work for me? Absolutely. I developed this entire system in my 600 square foot apartment. The guide includes specific techniques for working on kitchen tables, balconies, and small rooms. One student completed all 3 projects working on her apartment balcony that was smaller than most bathrooms. Won't hand tools be really slow? Won't projects take forever? This is a myth. For small projects, hand tools are often faster when you factor in setup and cleanup. The cutting board takes 2 to 4 hours. That's faster than most people spend setting up power tools and cleaning up the mess afterwards. Plus, you'll discover that working with hand tools is actually enjoyable. It's meditative, not stressful. What if I mess up? What if I ruin the wood? The guide includes troubleshooting sections for every common mistake. You'll learn how to fix errors, how to turn mistakes into design features, and how to avoid problems in the first place. Plus, the wood for these projects costs less than $20 total. Even if you mess up, it's not a costly mistake. Do I need to buy expensive tools? No, the 5 tools you need cost about $120 to $150 total if you buy new. The guide also shows you how to buy quality used tools for half that price. This is a fraction of what power tools cost, and these tools will last decades with basic maintenance. I'm renting and can't make noise or mess. Will this work? Perfect. That's exactly who this system was designed for. Hand tools are virtually silent. No complaints from neighbors, no angry landlords, and the mess is minimal. Just a little sawdust that's easily cleaned with a vacuum. Everything is completely renter-friendly. What if I get stuck or have questions? Every technique is thoroughly explained with photos in the guide. The troubleshooting sections address every common issue. And if you really get stuck, you can email my support team. We're here to help you succeed. You didn't find this video by accident. Something brought you here. Maybe it was curiosity about woodworking. Maybe it was frustration with expensive furniture. Maybe it was a desire to create something meaningful with your hands. Whatever it was, I believe you're here for a reason. You have the potential to create beautiful things. You have the ability to develop this skill. You have everything you need except the knowledge. And that's what I'm offering you today. The space limitations can be overcome. The lack of experience doesn't matter. The transformation can happen in just one weekend. All you have to do is say yes. Click the button below. Invest $17 in yourself and your potential. And 3 weeks from now, I want you to send me an email. Tell me about your first project. Tell me about that moment when you realized you actually made something beautiful. Tell me how it felt to create something with your hands. Because I know it's going to happen for you. I've seen it happen for thousands of others. And you deserve it just as much as they do. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being open to possibility. And thank you for considering this journey. Click the button below. Your first handcrafted project is waiting. And remember, you have 60 days to decide if this is for you. If it's not, you get every penny back and you keep the bonuses. You have nothing to lose and a lifetime of creative fulfillment to gain. I'll see you inside the guide.